Have you ever had a goal or a dream that you were so ambitious about that you told everyone about, but when you try to get started, it seems so far and so hard that you never proceed with it and you fail your goals over and over again? Maybe your New Year's resolutions or just any goal, fitness goal, business goal? Well, I'm here to teach you my methods that allowed me to achieve every goal that came my path, overcome every obstacle with the most simple methods and yet the most effective. You may be asking yourself, why should you listen to me? Well, here are my credentials. When I was 13 years old, I was overweight from, let's say 10 years of bad eating, junk food, being in a Middle Eastern household, eating oily, delicious food, not exercising, not reading books, not studying, not counting my macros to the extreme. Yet I was so ambitious about losing weight and becoming skinny like everyone wanted me to be. Reading books like my brother, and so many other goals. And here are the ones I've achieved right now, so you can admire them and listen to my advice without being skeptical. I've been counting my food, calories, whatever you want to call it, for 385 days. I lost 20 kilos when I was 13 years old. I started reading books at the age of 14. I haven't missed one training session or not hit one goal until now. I quit video games. I quit instant gratification. I quit junk food. I quit every possible thing. I instilled better habits in my life. I fixed my sleep schedule. That was never good. Like, I was 10 years old sleeping at 2 a.m., waking up at 12, 1, 2, sometimes even 4 p.m. I've battled through mental journeys that no one knew about and no one was there for. I'm no longer socially anxious or scared to talk to people, and these are just the many few tiny things I've achieved over a quite short period of time by applying these steps and laws to my daily life. So let's get with it. Here is by far the most important step. You want to change your identity, how you identify to others. For example, let's say a habit you're trying to instill in your life is reading books. Instead of telling people, oh, I hate reading books, but I'm trying to read books. Oh, I want to read 10 pages a day, but I just hate reading books. That automatically tells your mind that you hate reading books. And this is coming from someone that hated reading books. At first, I told my brother, do you have any books for me to read and enjoy? I hate reading, so give me something simple. I told him I hate reading. That was my first biggest step, and why the first time I did it, I didn't stick with the goal. He gave me some book about how a man mistook his wife for a hat. I picked up and opened that book with pure misery, and I didn't want to read it. But it was a goal of mine, so I tried to do it. But I failed after 3 days. Months later, I asked him yet again, I hate reading books, but give me a book about Stoicism, because that was a big thing I was into at the time. He gave me the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and a lot of other books, but yet again at the time I still hated reading. Just a few months back, I went and told him, give me a book about making money. And every time I picked up that book, I told myself, I'm a reader, I love to read. Every time I went on the bus, I took a book with me about making money, and I loved to read. That's who I identified as. I switched my gym to a gym 1 hour away from a bus because I told everyone that I love to read, and this 1 hour journey does not bother me. I stopped going to that gym because it was a bit too far, but I still yet read, and I tell everyone I talk to I love to read, and that really changed me. Let's get with another story, just to help you comprehend things. I was fat, I hated exercise, and that's what I used to say. I used to say, oh, I'm fat, and I hate exercising, and I hate dieting, I hate not eating McDonald's Sundays, and hate not eating grandma homemade cookies. What a fucking shame. Yet, 2 years back, I said that from today onwards, I identify as a bodybuilder. I told my mum, my dad, and my brother, that's what I want to do. I want to be a bodybuilder. They told me that bodybuilding's not a path to make money. I argued with my mum a lot in the car, but I still now identify as a bodybuilder. And from the time I started identifying as a bodybuilder, not a Netflix watcher, someone who loves to watch Netflix, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've dieted down to abs. I've gotten striations. I've achieved every fitness goal alongside my way, and I'm still doing it just because I changed my identity from a fat guy who watches Netflix to an athlete or a bodybuilder. I would sit in my home gym emailing fucking companies to be an affiliate marketer for their protein powder company just because I believed in myself so much that I'm a bodybuilder. And yet people may fucking laugh at me and say, oh, you're never gonna be a bodybuilder, but in my mind I'm a bodybuilder, so I put everything into exercise. Yet again, in another world, I'm a reader, so I love to read, and I read books. I read daily, I read on my phone, I read physical books, I read storybooks, I read non-fiction books, and now a new habit I've picked up is journaling. Now I went yesterday actually, told my brother I want to start journaling. I love writing, and I'm telling you guys this because it's gonna help me install this habit even further. I actually love writing, I love pens, I love books, and I love to learn. This is gonna be a short segment about why school makes us hate things such as learning. Perhaps you were fat in PE, and that traumatized you from exercise. School is a big fucking problem. It turned me away from reading, it turned me away from writing, it turned me away from everything to do with learning. On a 40-day break from school, which is obviously summer holidays in Australia, that's the time when I picked up reading books. Can you believe it? When school wasn't telling me to read, when I wasn't reading the books school was telling me and I was just copying ChatGPT shit, I was getting ChatGPT to write my essays. Just because I didn't want to write, I didn't want to read, I didn't want to do any of that. Why? Because of school. School tells us that we should like reading, but doesn't let us learn to love reading. It tells us to read some shitty book that we don't want to read, but maybe the book isn't actually that bad after all. But because of the thought that we have to do it and we have to read, we hate it. Why do some people hate their work? Because their boss is a bitch. They tell them they have to do these things, or else, you're gonna get fired. If you genuinely love being in a company, or if you genuinely love being in school, you don't need anyone to tell you to read books, do the homework, achieve your best in life and in school. Why do kids hate homework? Because they're told to do it. They're told to do homework that might actually benefit them, but just because they're forced to and told to, they begin to hate it. Math may actually not be a bad thing, but because we're told to do these things, or forced to do the homework, we hate it. So here's the change I want you to make. Instead of thinking that people are making you do it yourself. Pick up reading in your own time. Don't think of it as a school thing. Don't associate books with school, because that's what it does. Don't associate learning with school. That's why people like TikTok so much, because it has nothing to do with school. They tell us not to use it in school. Our phones, drugs, showing off our bodies in perhaps Middle Eastern countries. These things are all what we're told not to do. But yet, in European countries, there's obviously still whores, but not many of them. The women are cleaner than in Western countries, or in even the prostitutes in the Middle East. There's a crazy number of them, just because they're told not to do it. here in this segment of the video, because I thought it related and I'm also really passionate about this topic, how to quit a bad habit, or any bad habit that you've instilled in your life over a substantial amount of time and you're having difficulty quitting it, whether that be jerking off, masturbation, porn, whatever that may be, alcohol, drugs, vaping, smoking, cigarettes, anything. Here is how people try to quit these things. Here's the problem. They install an app on their phone and they start counting. They may not even install an app. However you may record down the number of days you haven't done it. A lot of people like Hamza back in the day used to advocate it. Oh, I lost my 5-day nofap streak. Stop thinking of streaks. They are bullshit. They're childish. Streaks are for people on Snapchat and for children and man-childs. Okay? If you want to quit a bad habit, let's say that be drinking, you need to identify as someone who doesn't drink. You can either do it as religiously as a Muslim does, or maybe as loosely as a Christian does, or anyone. You identify as someone who hates drinking, who thinks drinking is bad and unhealthy. You can't identify as someone who is trying to quit drinking, because if you think that you're trying to quit drinking, you haven't quit drinking yet. You are just someone who tried to quit drinking. If you're a fat person saying, oh, I'm fat and I need to start dieting down, but I love food, you are telling yourself you are a fat person dieting down, trying to lose weight or lose fat. But yet people might make fun of you for this. And what this thing is identifying as an athlete as a fat person, or a drunk saying that he doesn't drink. People don't believe it and they're gonna make fun of him. Oh, sure, buddy, okay, that fat guy is an athlete, haha. But no, if you're fat and you're trying to lose weight, you are now an athlete. If you're a drunk, a junkie, or a drug addict that is trying to quit cigarettes, alcohol, vaping, you are someone who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't vape, and who hates the idea of it and will no longer touch it in his life. He may have tried it out and he hated it. That's what you're gonna tell people. I hate alcohol, I hate drugs, I hate smoking, I hate watching adult content. That is the only way that you're gonna achieve the goals you want to achieve. A long-term goal of mine is to pursue YouTube as a career. I used to want to do YouTube as a kid a lot. People made fun of me for it. They would call me my channel name, make fun of me for it in school. When I was maybe 12 years old, had 5,000 followers on a specific social media brand. I'm not gonna exactly say, but doesn't matter what that was. I had 5,000 followers. Everyone found out, and people started taking the piss out of me. You know, oh, you're this big shot now. Oh, you have this many followers, haha. Or, oh, now look at influencer guy. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. I, with my 37 subscribers, or 36, however it may be, I identify as a full-time YouTuber, and I am a YouTuber no matter how many subs I have, and I know I will achieve this goal in the near future if I stick with it, keep reminding myself, oh, I'm a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, because yet I still have 37 followers. I am putting so much passion into this like I have 1 million. Find any other creator with under 100 subscribers putting this amount of effort in anything, in their thumbnails, in their video editing. Doesn't exist, because they do not see themselves as that. They're not envisioning it. They're living in a realistic world. You need to live in the beyond. If you have any more questions about this or want any further help, just comment down below, and I'm here to help. I love seeing people achieve their goals, but I also love to crush my enemies. See you later.